This is the Kuchi Tunnels Information Travel Guide for visitors to Vietnam. Located about 60 kilometers northwest of Ho Chi Minh City, Kuchi Tunnels is an extensive collection of underground tunnels. The first tunnels were built during the French Indochina War and extended during the Vietnam War. If you plan to visit Kuchi Tunnels from Ho Chi Minh City, then watch this video till the end. Info in this video will include directions, a little history, fees, and of course we'll share our own experience and tips. Keep watching this video to learn what is that banging sound that you hear right now. If you find that this is helpful, like this video and write a comment. We want to hear from you so we can keep improving on our content. Welcome to Hipfig. If you're a travel enthusiast, then join our community by subscribing to this channel. This is the Ho Chi Minh City Travel Guide series. This episode is the Kuchi Tunnels Information Travel Guide. Kuchi Tunnels is located in the Kuchi district, which is 60 kilometers north of Ho Chi Minh City. If you drive there, it'll take at least 2 hours from Ho Chi Minh City. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, the Vietnamese government repurposed Kuchi Tunnels as a war memorial. There are lots of ways to get here from Ho Chi Minh City. You can take a taxi or arrange a car at your hotel, which would cost you about 650,000 Vietnamese dong, which is equal to about $30 US one way. We booked our tour on Expedia and it was great. We highly recommend booking a half-day or full-day tour if this is your first time in Vietnam. Our luxury tour van picked us up at our hotel in Ho Chi Minh City, and we were greeted by a very friendly tour guide who spoke really good English. We've added a link to this tour for your convenience. Our tour cost $80 per person for a full day tour, which included air-conditioned transportation to and from Kuchi Tunnels in a luxury van, a friendly and knowledgeable tour guide and driver, admission to Kuchi Tunnels, a boat tour of Mekong Delta, lunch, water, and even beer at the end. There are many tour companies which offer tours to Kuchi Tunnels in all price ranges. About an hour into our drive, we stopped at Lamfat Company Handicapped Handicrafts. We were given a tour of the factory where disabled community workers were creating artwork from oyster shells and other materials. After the tour, we were given time in the gift shop to purchase souvenirs. Then we went outside under a covered patio where there are clean restrooms and a small snack shack selling snacks and drinks. We spent about 30 minutes here. We walked back to the cool comfort of our air-conditioned van with cushy seats to drive to Kuchi Tunnels.
When you put it under light, you will see the rainbow color. This green model curve. It's only white. It may be plastic. And outside, they only use plastic because plastic is very cheap and models are really expensive.
If you're not pressed for time and adventurous and want a cheap option that's about 15,000 Vietnamese dong, you can go to the Saigon Bus Station TDH near September 23-9 Park. Catch the green public bus number 13. It should say Kuchi written in the front. Then transfer to bus number 79 headed to Ben Duoc. Make sure to find out when the last buses leave and leave early from Ho Chi Minh City if you choose this option. It'll take at least 2.5 hours one way. Follow the signs to the entrance of Kuchi Tunnels once you arrive in Ben Duoc. We drove past students biking, storefronts, temples, and a very fancy Communist Party building. Local Vietnamese just going about their daily day. For your information, there are actually 2 different tunnel sites at Ben Din and another at Ben Duoc. Ben Din was the base for the Kuchi District Party Committee, while Ben Duoc, which has the larger network of tunnels, was the base for the party committee. Our tour went to the Ben Din entrance, and so this is the only site that we will show on this video. Once we arrived, there are booths to pay for parking. When we entered the parking lot, there were tons of vans, buses, and personal vehicles. Our tour van dropped us off in the front, and we used the clean bathrooms before following our tour guide into the gift shop where the ticket booth is located. This very popular tourist attraction was one of the few places where we saw foreigners outnumber the Vietnamese. Both Ben Dinh and Ben Duoc entrances of the Kuchi Tunnels are generally open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Entrance fees for foreign visitors is 110,000 Vietnamese dong per adult. We waited in the gift shop area as our tourist guide got our tickets for us, as it was included in our tour. All signs that we saw were in Vietnamese and in English. Here's a bit of history about the Kuchi Tunnels, which were initially built in 1948 by the Viet Minh during the French Indochina War. They were used as a means of communication between villages and evading French soldiers. During the Vietnam War, also known as the American War in Vietnam, the tunnels were increased to more than 250 kilometers. The Kuchi Tunnels are credited as a major contributor for the victory over the United States and our allies. Once our tour guide returned with our tickets, we followed her and walked down a thatched underground walkway. About midway down, we were greeted and our tickets were scanned. And then we walked up to the village area where the thatched buildings and tunnels were located. We followed our tour guide up and out of the underground walkway to the designated dirt path. Once we exited, we saw large tour groups following their guides. Our small group of 6 really allowed us to go around faster. Viet Cong soldiers, also known as VC, used these underground tunnel routes to hide their activity and wage war against a more heavily armed enemy. We made a stop at one of the many entrances to a tunnel. Many people were waiting in line to try to get into that small tunnel, and I really mean small. Luckily for us, though, there was a large group tour that was just finishing up, so we didn't have to wait too long for our turn. Many members of our group could fit into it, and actually one even got kind of stuck trying to get out. Viet Cong soldiers lived and traveled through these tunnels, and they transported supplies, relayed messages to other groups of soldiers, and attacked the enemy. They laid booby traps and made surprise attacks where they can hide underground right after. An example is this bamboo trap. We continued to follow our guide through the jungle path from one site to another. As you can see in this video, there are many foreign tourists.
Okay, so over here is the fighting bunker.
The communist guerrilla fighters, known as Viet Cong or VC, dug thousands of miles of tunnels by hand throughout the jungles of Vietnam. We continued walking on the dirt path until we stopped at a U.S. tank left behind from the Vietnamese War. As an American, I always feel a bit bittersweet when I travel to places like this. I saw many U.S. veterans of the Vietnam War here. Along the path, we also saw other displays of life as a Viet Cong soldier, as well as bombshells. Further down the path, we were led to several displays of booby traps used by VC to combat enemy soldiers, especially tunnel rat enemy soldiers who infiltrated tunnels to detect booby traps and enemy troops. They look pretty menacing. We continued to walk the designated dirt path to a communal kitchen and then to the visitor rest area. They mechanized everything. You're probably wondering by now, what is this banging sound I've been hearing throughout the video? An interesting spot we stopped at, which was near the restroom, snack bar, and souvenir shop, was the rifle range. In this rifle range, tourists can fire an AK-47 rifle or other assault rifle on a firing range for an additional fee. You are charged per bullet. We moved on and rested in this area a bit and watched a demonstration of how rice paper wraps are made.
Did you have this before the French? Yeah, very traditional, very long time.
You can hear the bang from the shooting in the background throughout our video. To be honest, it was a bit odd and unsettling knowing that there were so many people who lost their lives here.
So we divided into many small groups to visit tunnels. So mostly nighttime.
We continued on our guided tour and walked to various trenches, bunkers, booby traps, bomb shelters, as well as learning about the air ventilation system. No machines were used to dig these tunnels, only bare hands, farm tools, wheelbarrows, carts, and pulleys. Necessity really is the mother of invention. It's amazing that male and female soldiers cooked, ate, slept, worked, and even went to school in these tunnels. They even had hospitals, theaters, schools, and kitchens in them too. Nothing was wasted and everything was repurposed. Here's some tips. When you're visiting here, wear clothes that you don't mind getting dirty. Wear comfortable pairs of shoes as you'll be walking a lot in the open air, and maybe a hat. Another good idea is to wear sunblock and bring insect repellent. It gets hot and you'll sweat, which will attract the bugs. Also, this may be obvious, but don't visit here when it's raining, especially the rainy season, which is usually between May and November. Towards the end of the tour, we were given some typical foods that soldiers living in the tunnels would have eaten and watched a documentary, which was nice since we could rest our feet in the shade. Our small tour group got a chance to debrief after the experience, and we would all agree that Kuchi Tunnels is worth the effort to get to. After our tour, we walked back to our cool van, to our next stop, lunch and the Mekong Delta. Watch for this video next week. This attraction alone will take 2 or more hours depending on your interest, not accounting for transportation. Hopefully this was helpful and informative. Please subscribe to our channel for more travel guide videos.